10.1 is areas of parallelograms and triangles. And if you recall from the quadrilaterals chapter, your parallelograms actually, remember, they include regular parallelograms, rectangles, rhombuses, squares. All of those are parallelograms, okay? And we're starting specifically with the rectangle because I know you have learned this formula in the past and you'll be able to relate it to the other parallelograms. Previously, you learned the area as length times width. And the one thing I'm going to change up on you for this whole chapter is instead of length times width, we're going to start using base times height. Because a base and a height we're going to be able to use consistently through the different area formulas. We're going to be able to use them through volume, although in a different way. Okay, so if we let one of the sides be the base and the other the height, then the area of a rectangle is base times height. The one thing I'm going to suggest here also is that you use lowercase letters, because a lowercase b indicates a dimension, a length. When they get into volume, they use an uppercase B to represent a base area, which is a lot different than a length. So stick with the lowercase for dimensions, okay? Uppercase for areas. But base times height, you might want to make a note here. Whenever we talk about base and height, they're perpendicular. Quite often, a lot of these problems, you'll have a dimension that you don't need, and some people try and use 3 dimensions instead of 2, just because it's there. You have to pick the right dimensions. Doesn't mean you need to use all of them, but it has to be the right 2. Right? And another thing I'm going to ask throughout this, which is probably something you're not going to like, but generally when we start finding those areas, I want you to write down the formula first. First thing that accomplishes is by the time we get into volumes and you're still using area formulas, you won't have to keep looking them up because you would have written them down enough times that you're probably going to remember them. It's going to help your memory. The second reason is you might not be just looking for area. You might have the area and be looking for the base or the height. If you're not in the habit of writing down the full formula, then you won't have an equation to start with. Yes? No, you can sit in your assigned seat. I'm sure you will survive.